Welcome back to Nadia's Notes. I am late for an event, which is not uncommon. I have social anxiety, and so I try to moderate it by arriving late. Because ahead of the thing, I always try to find out, but in my mind, which is not very effective, whether or not the experience is going to be enjoyable and what it's going to be like. So it doesn't help to figure out what the event will be like. What does help is researching the event and kind of knowing who is going to be attending, like what kind of people, what do they believe, what do they value. So in this case, I think it's going to be a pretty safe event. It's with believers. We'll see. It's giving me kind of, just from what I know, good vibes. I'm also legitimately late because I had to get my bubble tea, and apologies for not recording said bubble tea. I know that a couple of videos demonstrated this bubble tea drinking. Oh, yes. If you're liking my content, please like and subscribe. I deeply appreciate you being here with me. So yes, I skipped recording the bubble tea portion of this video because I just needed some time for myself. I was like, I just want to sit and enjoy a bubble tea. Just like think my thoughts, process what I need to process. Because this is the first time I've done that in a while. Because every other time, the moment that I get my bubble tea, I start recording. So thank you for being very understanding. At the same time, I have to say that that's a really great strategy in general to use for doing something that, let's say, you find as difficult. So let's say you want to perform a specific task and you need extra motivation. Getting something for yourself which you enjoy, like bubble tea or coffee, and then right after doing that task can be extremely stimulating and reinforcing, because you will come to associate that item with the task. And so if it's something you really enjoy, again, let's just use bubble tea. I also love mochi, especially green tea mochi, but a lot of other flavors as well, but very partial to green tea mochi. When you pair a task, let's say a cognitive task, or a task that doesn't necessarily have a physical component, or even if it does, with something immediately pleasurable and enjoyable, you create a link between those two things. And we'll see, I think I already created one. I bet that now, every time that I get bubble tea, I'm going to associate that with recording videos. I have another example. So a couple of years back, I spent the summer in Maine, coastal Maine. It's a green light. I recommend coastal Maine to everyone. It's a beautiful part of our country. It is strikingly gorgeous. The weather is moderate in the summer. The ocean is beautiful and stimulating. I don't know if I've ever spent more than 15 minutes in it, and even that's too long. It's more like a cold plunge situation. But anyway, so there I am in coastal Maine. It also has beautiful lakes. So go for the coast, drive a little bit to a lake. The lakes are warm, and it's like an unmatched experience. It is just so beautiful. It also reminded me of Russia. It reminded me of the climate in which I grew up. There wasn't an ocean, but there was a river and lots of nature. And it's approximately at the same
into the bottom.
latitude as Moscow. Although I think actually Montreal is at the same latitude. And I hope it's latitude and not longitude. Yeah, it's latitude, because longitude it's like long, I think. Don't judge me if I got it wrong. I used to know this once upon a time. But it's also easy to mix up. These things are easy to mix up. So there I am, and my friend and I decide to go hiking. There's like this little 20-minute hike, mountain next to where we are. And I have to make sure that I don't get hit by a bicycle. That's very important. And we go up. It's August. August is a great month to go. Yeah, I think it's August. And what do we find on top of that mountain? Of this little mountain? We find wild blueberry bushes. And guess what that does? It does the same thing as what I just described. So we would climb, we would gorge on the blueberries, me more so than him. And what do you think that did? It made me want to go back every day for that hike, even though I don't necessarily find hiking itself as stimulating. It feels like, why are we going? Like, I like the experience of being in nature, especially in good company, but I'm not necessarily, like, I'm more goal-oriented than process-oriented. So, except for these videos. Yeah, except for these videos. And so, I don't really like hiking. I like hiking when it's challenging as a way to, like, test myself, I guess. There's a gallery. Do you want to see the gallery? I don't know, it's a weird one. Most galleries in New York are weird. Anyway, so yeah, we went there for like over a week. I think it was because of the blueberries. So the other way you can reinforce your behavior is by first, there's a cute chair. Look at that. You see that? That's pretty nice. I'm afraid to sit on it in case of bed bugs. I mean, this is a pretty good neighborhood, Soho. So there wouldn't necessarily be bed bugs unless someone else sat down before me and they had bed bugs. Yeah, no bed bugs for me. Anyway, you could do behavioral reinforcement either by giving yourself a treat before, and then that changes your mood and makes you happier and more likely to do what you want to do, or do it after. And then you associate kind of the task with the reward you're going to get right after it. I know these are simple things, I'm sure you've heard them before, but I find it amazing that they work. They really work. This is also why stickers work with kids. Adults also, I heard. So like just a little bit of something, giving yourself a little bit of something to which you have an emotional response or a pleasure response really benefits you in the end when you're trying to accomplish a task that you are perhaps procrastinating. So often, let's say, not often, I won't quantify how much. So let's say you're not doing a task because you don't know how to do it. This might not be the right way to approach that task, because if you legitimately don't know how to do something, what you actually need is to figure out how to do it. If you're not doing something because you've done it before and has been stressful, or you're working yourself up ahead of time for failure, even though you know how to do the task, that's the situation where the two strategies that I'm describing will work for you. So do I have another? Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's what I wanted to share today. It's a beautiful day in New York. And also I encourage you to try this and see if it works. I encourage you to share with me what has worked for you in those situations. It would be interesting to do more research on where it is more beneficial to change your state before the task, or to do a task and then reward yourself. I think if I thought about it for a second, let me see. I must know enough about this to figure it out on the fly. Let's see how this brain works. Yeah, as I already pointed out, so if your nervous system gets overwhelmed and stressed out, if your body goes into like stress response before a task, then giving yourself something that will reduce the amount of stress just by definition, maybe like giving yourself a little massage, or so like a relaxation technique. Another thing that I'm forgetting, and this is the truth of the bubble tea also, is bubble tea has starch from the boba, sugar, and caffeine, and milk, and fat. So another thing that bubble tea is doing, which is the same thing that chai does, is it gives you immediate energy for a task and lifts your mood. Because sugar in the short term can have beneficial effects on your mood. And you have to kind of moderate the amount. If, however, right, and in the case with receiving a treat right after doing a task, in the case of hiking, it worked because the only place to get that treat was the end of the hike. So I was still going for the treat and not necessarily for the task. Right, that's another interesting thing. Where in the bubble tea then task, it's we change the state, we give my brain, your brain, the body an immediate energy, which if you are feeling lethargic or are depleted, you haven't eaten well, or just, I don't know, generalized malaise or whatever, then it will help. There are so many times that when I was writing, I would sit there and literally sip on chai, on milk chai with sugar. And I actually think that when you're doing this for intellectually intense tasks, there is a benefit to this approach, because you're giving yourself immediate energy and just a little bit of stimulation from the caffeine. I don't know if the same applies for physically demanding tasks. I know people carb load before long distance running. I don't know about other situations. So take it for how you will, or for, what's the phrase? Sorry, I forget the phrase. Anyway. Apologies if this was a little long and if I kept repeating myself. But I want to try out if maybe these are the kinds of videos that my viewers will appreciate. So let me know if you like it. I'm late posting Proverbs for today. They are recorded. They've been recorded for a week. So see, I'm having like fear around posting. And I wonder what I could do about that. So one thing I could definitely do is rewatch the video, because it's fascinating. The moment you start recording, it's not the same as just having a conversation, because we live in a time where whatever you post doesn't go away, right? So an extra layer of awareness kicks in where I don't know, and therefore an extra level of worry. Like, I don't want to be misunderstood. Am I willing to stand by what I said like a week from now, a year from now? That's actually a good barometer for what I should and should not post. And maybe it's the same barometer that you could use for things if you have a channel. How will you think about the way that you expressed an idea, or what you said a year from now, let's say? That's pretty good, right? Although at the same time, what if you change in that year and you've grown? That's also fascinating. Yeah, I don't know. Does anyone have an idea how to solve this conundrum? I mean, Let's look at Hollywood stars. I'm not sure they worry so much, especially in this day and age. Some of them, how they come across, they're like, this is my life. I have enough money to deal with the consequences. Or I just, just want to be real and authentic. These people want to keep moving. What are you doing? Stop! Did you see the light? Like, legit, just going on a green light. Look at that. I just can't. This is wild. What the? This is so weird. And there's traffic ahead of them. And now they're going to honk at each other. Because clearly, it's like 7:30 p.m. And if you don't get there right this second, something awful will happen. They're all late for business meetings. No, they're not. These are not all people with pregnant women in their back seats trying to get to the hospital. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous! The light is so beautiful. Oh my god, I have to stand here in the light and take a picture. No, the light is only beautiful over there. Okay, they keep... What the hell is going on? Oh, I'm on a red light now. He cursed at me. I mixed up the lights. Oh, I know why. Because the car is going that way. We're not moving. Oh, that's right. And the motorcyclists, who are the worst in the city, have to get everywhere first. And God forbid anyone, observes traffic laws. That will be a disaster. Total disaster. Okay, green light. Okay, that person is going to go. Stop. Okay, again, I have to wind myself through traffic. I am so confused. These people are perfectly capable of judging the fact that they're not going to make it. In New York, you're not supposed to block the pedestrian crossways. But this is a topic for a different video. That car is burning. There's a car in front of me, which is like, maybe it's not burning, but maybe their muffler. No, I don't know. It's burning. Something is burning in that car. Ew. Yuck, I don't want to smell that. I don't want to breathe that. I wanted to take a picture. That's how I ended up on that street. Oh no. Okay, this is a red light. Oh, that's better. They're trying to get into a tunnel, to be honest, into New Jersey. But those cars that were standing in crosswalks, I don't know if that's enough of an excuse though, honestly. I should do a video on whether or not honking at other cars in New York City actually gets you anywhere faster. No, it doesn't. And then another video on whether or not standing in crosswalks gets you anywhere faster. No, it doesn't. The same as weaving in and out of traffic doesn't get you anywhere faster. They've done studies on that. So no, pumpkins. You're not going anywhere. You're just creating traffic. How does that sound? Not going anywhere, just creating traffic. Not getting anywhere faster, just creating traffic. Oh man, the sky is so beautiful. So beautiful. Let's look. Let's look at it. Thank you for being here. So happy you could come along. Do you know that song? Come along with me. And then I don't remember the words. Da 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 da. Thanks for being with me.